Hey everybody, how's it going? Kale with Fayette Property Solutions, and today I'm going to be doing a review of our Aluma 1026H aluminum deck over trailer, and telling you some of the pros and cons, and just what some of the ownership of the trailer has been like over the last 3 years. And we'll get right into it. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and start up here at the front of the trailer. First thing I'll note, the coupler here, it does work very nicely. It's very stout, heavy duty, and problem-free. The only thing that I would like to see as standard is a adjustable coupler, just due to the fact that due to the trailer's height, you generally have to run your drop hitch in a reverse like that, and it would be a little bit more convenient if I were able to just go ahead and drop that coupler down. Not a big deal, but that is one thing that I've found that I would like to see standard. It is optional, but just one of those things to mention there. But other than that, the coupler works great. Haven't had any failures or anything like that out of it. Next thing up, we got the jack here. The jack, it works fine. No problems with it necessarily. The only problem that you'll tend to find is that, like I said earlier, is that due to the height of the trailer, you generally need something kind of like this trailer park block to have underneath the wheel, just due to the fact that the wheel generally won't ever reach the ground. I've considered moving it up here to the tongue, but then it would be kind of in the way of things, and it's just not a very convenient location for it. So one thing to keep in mind if you want to get into this trailer is that you'll probably need something along the line of that trailer park block there to park your trailer, just due to the fact that that jack is not quite long enough in reality. Number 3, we've got our spare tire holder. I don't have any complaints with that. Functions just as it should. It's in a pretty convenient location. I have considered putting it underneath the deck of the trailer, but for all intents and purposes, it's just fine where it is, and definitely enjoy having the option, although it is bolt-on, to have a spare tire mounted onto the trailer at all times. While we're still up here at the front of the trailer, we have these marker lights. We've got one up here on the front corner, one at about the midway point, and then another at the back. Obviously there's lights off the far end of the trailer for stopping and turning. Haven't had a single problem out of any of the lights on this trailer. Haven't had a problem with the brakes or the wiring for either component. Everything has been very nicely done, nicely sealed up. Haven't had any complaints that way whatsoever, so just wanted to go ahead and make a quick little note of that while we were up here at the front of the trailer. Also, while I've got the clip rolling, we'll talk about these tie-down hooks. I do really enjoy these. Unfortunately, there's only 4. There's 2 at the very far end of the trailer there, and 2 right here. I would really personally enjoy seeing these every 2 to 4 feet apart. However, it's not the end of the world due to the fact that you have multiple stake pockets going down the side. But we'll get to that in a separate clip. Working our way down the trailer here, here's that other marker light that's at the midway point or so. Just wanted to stop and show you the ribbing underneath this deck. Tons and tons and tons of ribbing underneath this deck. As you would generally suspect from an aluminum trailer, but it's got plenty of ribbing, plenty of support. You've got your 2 5K axles there. They are the torsion axles. Brakes on both. Pretty solid setup. We haul anything from mini excavator to that small skid steer to a small chipper to a pair of vent tracks on here. So we put quite an array of different things on the trailer and haven't really had too much issue out of it yet. There are a couple little areas where There's a little bit of wear and tear in the deck. You can see a couple areas where it gets scratched occasionally. A couple little dents here and there. There's really only been one quote-unquote catastrophic dent that poked a hole through the deck. I was able to bang that up with a hammer, and I'll probably get that re-welded and sealed up, but not too bad in terms of the deck itself due to all that ribbing that you saw. It's pretty solid, to say the least. We'll go ahead and cut this clip, and we'll go and touch on a couple of other little points real quick. So, as I mentioned, we've got a ton of stake pockets on the side of the trailer here, all the way to the very back. One thing that I will note, if I can focus in there, yes. As you can tell on the exterior of the stake pocket, it's welded in fully. Right here on the top, it's nicely welded in. But once you get to the interior, it has not been welded in. And that's not necessarily the end of the world. I haven't had any of these pockets move on me or anything along those lines. But I think in a perfect world, I would prefer to see those fully welded in. Again, like I said, guys, I haven't had any of these break off or anything like that. It's just one of those things that I would maybe prefer to see. But it's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. I haven't had anything rub rail, stake pocket, or deck get bent necessarily due to improper welds. So that's a plus there, and no real cons or complaints in that regard. One thing I'd like to cover really quick, we use this trailer not every single day, but at least 2 to 3 times per week, if not more, sometimes less. So these tires have about 3 years of wear on them. I did just rotate them recently. So you can see we still have quite a bit of tread left on the tires. That was the rear tire. This was the front tire. So as you can see, this tire's got a good little bit more tread on it due to the fact that this tire was doing a little bit of dragging in the back. We just recently did that tire rotation, so it's been about 3 years, and these tires have been holding up great. No problems in that regard whatsoever. Good solid tire. They don't lose air pressure very easily. They hold up to all of our loads, no problem. And definitely a good quality tire, it seems like. All right, so the majority of this video has been mostly positive, and it's not about to get completely negative, but we are about to have a couple of small complaints here. So these jack legs, I am extremely thankful that the trailer has the jack legs. However, the lever that holds the jack leg up, it's just basically a piece of aluminum riding on another piece of aluminum tubing there, as you can probably see if I can get it to focus in there. And as you can hear, you know, it's not the smoothest. It's a little bit rudimentary, not the best in the world. And then whenever you have your jack legs all the way up, they just kind of tend to flop around a little bit like that. And again, it's not the end of the world, but just one thing to note, it's especially bad if you put the jack leg all the way back up after each use. If they're shorter, they'll rattle much worse, I've found. So I generally tend to leave them out and just fold them up, and that generally will tend to solve the rattling. The only other thing, I do like how they're spring loaded, and it will go backwards if you were to potentially drive off and leave them down. So that is a nice feature. The only thing I'll say is that they do angle forward quite a bit. So whenever you're loading, they kind of wander around a little bit, so to speak, which isn't terrible, especially if you have your car parked, your truck, excuse me, parked relatively securely, but definitely moves around a little bit and can be a little bit concerning from time to time, but I haven't had a failure out of it. Haven't bent a pin. You can see the bottom of the foot here has gotten a little bit bent over time. Not terribly unexpected for aluminum, but noteworthy at least. And I'll go ahead and stop ranting on this and get to the final two more major cons that have plagued this trailer. All right, so final two cons. You've got one way of storing the ramps that works rather well more often than not, which would be the way on the left. And you've got the more convenient version, which doesn't work as well, which would be the way on the right. Obviously the way on the left is secure and held down and not going to go anywhere. The way on the right, unfortunately, if you hit some bumps like this, it can cause the entire gate assembly, so to speak, to flop up and over and then land on the ground and or the road, and then you've got to stop and pull over and flip that back up, obviously. That's happened to me on, I think, 2 occasions now, and now generally I try to throw a strap over it more often than not, unless I'm just going on a short ride down the road. But that is something that I would maybe like to see. Aluma did include these little rubber clasps to hold the gates together so that whenever they're upright, they don't clap whenever you're driving. But it would be pretty cool if they would, I don't know, maybe even possibly drill an additional hole right here in this bar so that you could stick this through, and you'd be able to hold the gate down while it was actually down as well, and then that would also help keep these arms from just rattling around, which they do a little bit of themselves. But that's that on one of the 2 major cons. And then the last one you can kind of see here. The gate is not rated for, I don't really know what the rating is on it, to be honest with you. But the most we ever put on it is going to be around 4,500 pounds worth of machine. And I want to say that this started collapsing around a year ago, and it's just gotten a little bit worse over time. It's only on this one ramp as well, I'll mention. This other ramp, it does have a little bit of a concave starting to happen there, you can see, but it's not nearly as pronounced as this other side. So that's one thing to keep in mind. You do have the ability with this little channel that they have in the back here to slide in some aluminum ramps that would be a little bit more sturdy and climb on up there with whatever you've got. But you only have about 8,000 pounds worth of payload on this trailer. So you're not really supposed to be putting any huge skid steers or huge mini excavators up on it anyways. But that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to make this video after quite a few years, well, I say quite a few years of ownership. And there's not too terribly much information on these trailers out there, especially with people that use them in a real world scenario. So just wanted to throw this together. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to answer them for you. And hope you all have a good one. Bye-bye.